On April 17, 2013, Cigarettes play a set behind a curtain in Madison Square Garden in front of 18,000 people. In the crescendo of a song translated as New Batteries, we witness this complete elation sweep through the audience as the curtain drops and the crowd are finally invited into the experience. We'll come back to this. 2 months earlier at the DICE Awards, acclaimed filmmaker JJ Abrams and acclaimed game developer / co-founder of Valve software GABE NEWELL announced their collaboration on a film based around Valve's Portal and Half-Life universe. This marriage of minds between Abrams and Valve is, to me, the most exciting team on a creative project I've seen since the Star Wars 7 announcement.
JJ, what happened to Darth Vader's grandchildren?
You tell me, man. You made all this shit up.
JJ is one of my all-time favorite filmmakers, not only for his ability to land a striking cinematic moment,
223304,
or his ability to generate absurd questions in the mind of his audience,
where are you from?
but for the way he uses both on the characters to move his stories forward.
I love larger-than-life kind of spectacle moments, but that what's important to me is that the characters are at the center, that emotionally you know where you are.
JJ spends a considerable amount of time developing his characters before he breaks this pattern with something unexplainable. Before we encounter the famous smoke monster in the first episode of Lost, he spends 20 minutes, that is, half the episode, grounding the leads.
I'm Kate.
Jack.
After establishing that emotional footing, goes on to break it with this. JJ loves to do this and he's very, very good at it. He loves to move stories with curious moments.
It's about moments, man. That's all that matters. Oh God! Oh my God! What the hell was that?
How did you know my name?
I am Spock.
Bullshit. What are stories but mystery boxes? There's a fundamental question. In TV, the first act is called the teaser. It's literally the teaser. It's the big question. So you're drawn into it. Then, of course, there's another question, and it goes on and on.
This approach to driving stories with questions is key, because Valve approached Portal's game design with the same philosophy, the incongruity theory. Imagine passing through 16 blue identical rooms, when suddenly an orange room appears. This shift in our understanding of our environmental patterns generates a curious need to investigate and, in turn, prepares our mind for a new education. This is good because a game like Portal is built entirely around learning the game's patterns, and Valve, like JJ, are master teachers. Every break we're about to deconstruct exists purely as vehicles to develop the character of GLaDOS, the game's antagonist.
Hello, and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Computer-Aided Enrichment Center.
Guided by this woman AI, we're pulled through test rooms that require the use of a portal gun to solve specific puzzles.
Once again, excellent work.
We're promised cake as a reward for the completion of these tests. Nothing in Portal exists to tell us anything about who we are. From the wake up to the end, we play purely as a test subject in an orange jumpsuit that we see at the very beginning of the game. This seemingly unimportant fact is actually a hint toward a much larger theme. There are two primary colors used throughout Portal, and we're looking straight at them for 90% of the game: blue and orange. More specifically, hex value 5186D0 and hex value D28C3E. These two hues, while having gameplay purposes in the orange and blue portals, have specific narrative purposes too. Remember that analogy I used earlier with the blue and orange rooms? Well, Valve have used that exact technique here in Portal. The environment constructed around us is a very clinically cold atmosphere with white and blue tones, but after 16 identical rooms, we discover an opening behind the panels of a wall. This room has warmer tones, and scattered on the floor and walls are scribbles from some madman claiming the cake is a lie. These scribbles speak volumes into GLaDOS's darker character, but this room and the jumpsuit are subconsciously teaching us a lesson needed for our emotional journey. Orange represents human. And in this fresh insight into GLaDOS, we now have conflict. Being human, it's clear we don't belong in GLaDOS's bluer environment, and Valve plays heavy on this. It's no coincidence the two primary colors exist as polar opposites on the color wheel.
Congratulations. The test is now over.
This theme on color plays out further after the next major break with the fire pit.
Thank you for participating in this Aperture Science computer-aided enrichment activity. Goodbye.
Here we learn the plans GLaDOS has for our real fate, and it becomes clear the cake we were once promised actually was a lie. This is Portal's Sigur Rós moment. The removing of the mask. The monster reveal. This is where the magic happens.
What are you doing? Stop it.
This escape, executed purely through our most basic human instinct to survive, heralds the beginning of a power shift, and we see this human triumph echoed visually in the preceding environment. Laying out every scene in Portal and observing the color script, we see the game shifts completely from here onwards to warm orange tones. Valve even drops us back into an old blue room just to concrete this newfound dissonance. Like the curtain being dropped, we now have access to the truth, and in the face of this truth, GLaDOS shifts in personality from passive to desperate reverse psychology.
Okay, the test is over now. You win. Go back to the recovery annex for your cake.
This is actually the second GLaDOS shift of 3.
I'm going to kill you, and all the cake is gone.
After further disobeying her request to cease and desist, she resorts to threats of violent aggression, and we see this trait portrayed visually in her last personality core we need to destroy at the end of the game. Quick side note, here we see GLaDOS' eye color is actually orange, which might mean something to those who have played Portal's sequel. These shifts in her personality actually begin very subtly towards the beginning of the game.
Excellent. Please proceed into the chamber lock after completing each test.
Her dialogue begins the way we'd expect any AI character to speak, informative and bland. But we slowly start to see the cracks, and the script begins to twist into that of a black comedy.
The Enrichment Center once again reminds you that Android Hell is a real place where you will be sent at the first sign of defiance.
This is the writers of Portal, Eric Walpole and Chet Fleesek, harnessing the incongruity theory. And this is Comedy 101. Establish a pattern and break it.
The Enrichment Center is required to remind you that you will be baked, and then there will be cake.
One of my favorite moments in any of your movies is in Cloverfield, where you've got all this craziness, all this great CG on the screen, but when the woman goes behind the screen and she explodes, just how much that means for her and how much it means about what's going to be coming for the characters who left. It was like, that for me was just an incredibly awesome moment. And we need to be able to do more of that in games.
The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion which stands at the cradle of true art and true science. This quote sits perfectly nestled in the crevices of JJ and Valve's creative works, whose stories are always founded in a hyper-reality. But it's not so much the setting that is important, as much as the questions are inside them. Portal's success is purely thanks to the way Valve present their questions, and JJ understands this.
Obviously, for anyone who's played Portal, you begin that game with no sense of who you are, why you're there, what it means, and it's the crazy mystery that is, GLaDOS compels me to move forward and try to figure out, what's going on. And I think that that's the thing that made me love that game, is that the entire experience of it was really an exploration of GLaDOS, and sort of the more you played, the more you learned, the more you felt.
This collab is the joining of two storytelling giants whose bread and butter are stories built on the backs of curious moments, and as JJ's deep appreciation for the unknown is the reason he would absolutely nail a Portal film.
We're very active, and I'm hoping that there can be a Portal announcement fairly soon.
It's not JJ's ability to drop the curtain that makes him so fit for the role, but like Valve, it's his ability to erect the curtain between the audience and the truth.
All right, JJ, I need to know, what's the deal with the smoke monster?
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I thought I'd take a few seconds to just kind of break out of deep thinking mode and just get into talking about the things that are happening in the Good Blood universe. The first thing is that all the music that you hear on the Good Blood videos are original music. They're not ripped from video games, they're not ripped from films, they're composed from scratch from my good friend, Johnny Higgins. I've added a link to his SoundCloud in the description, so please go click on that link, listen to his music, leave him a comment, tell him Java sent you, tell him that he's the best and that you want him. The second thing is it's been a few months since I've uploaded a video, and there's two reasons for that. The first reason is I'm developing an original IP at the same time called Shell Girl. It's got a badass girl protagonist, it's got speed, it's got action, and it's got stars in it. So you know it's gonna be good. The second reason is about 7 months ago, we started a new project with a few of my good friends called the Punch Kids, where we'll play video games and talk about philosophy and game design. And if you like Portal, we actually did a Portal playthrough where my friend Dave experienced everything for the first time. So it was actually really cool to watch his reactions to some of those kind of spoiler moments. So yeah, please head over there and subscribe, just hang out with us. Anyway, thanks so much for watching again, and I'll see you in the next video.
Cake.
Congratulations. The test is now over. All aperture technologies remain safely operational up to 4,000 degrees Kelvin. Rest assured that there is absolutely no dangerous equipment malfunction.
They're trying to incinerate me.
Thank you for participating in this aperture science computer-aided enrichment technique. Goodbye.